We're here at the Spirit Release Conference in March 2019 in Stourbridge, and I'm going to ask you to just recall, going back a couple of hours, to an earlier workshop that you attended. Talking about the Remote Spirit Release workshop that was hosted by Terry Palmer. What did you think of it, Kirsty?
Yeah, it was great. He I don't think there's anyone else doing research into the remote spirit release or any spirit release, because the most important thing is to get the medical profession to understand that it can be the actual basis of all the problems.
I see, yeah, so it's convincing for you in that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Dave, was there any part of it that left you feeling curious?
Well, coming from someone that actually not that involved in the spirit release side, what these guys do essentially, I thought it was really interesting actually, because it was more of an understanding and awareness of what really involved. That although I work with spirit and it's a lot of information there that I was just completely blown away with. I wasn't aware, and I heard the kind of things that these guys do, and because I'm a spiritual healer. And I kind of do it on a slightly different level, and sort of bit of spirit release, and more kind of move spirit on in my own way. Learning this sort of process, it's kind of mind blowing, really.
Okay, so it's the kind of scale of what
yeah, it's more kind of I wasn't aware of this kind of practices, so for me it's quite new, and I found it very, very interesting.
All right, thanks. Greg, is it new for you?
This is all very new for me. I've only sort of started healing and doing spirit release in the last 3 years.
Okay.
No one's actually taught me. I've sort of done it intuitively, so it's actually good to get feedback to see how other people do it, and again meet like-minded people, to connections. There's certain people that happen to catch my eye and think, I wonder why I'm catching their eye, and then I've now met some new friends that we're going to be working together and doing this type of work. Because again, Spirit almost told me to come here, even though Kirsty invited, but Kirsty knew that I had to be here.
The way Spirit works.
Okay. So we'll blame Kirsty.
It's all my fault.
Okay. Tess, what did you think of these workshops?
I thought it was amazing, and also it just gives me confirmation that the work that I do as a medium is really relevant to the way that Spirit have sort of pushed me in this direction, really.
Yeah.
So
Because you're not on your own as well. You realise that there's other people doing it, and it's really valuable to hear other people's experiences and validate what you're doing. It makes it stronger, doesn't it?
It does. It really does, because it can be quite overwhelming.
And also a lot of us healers and psychic people work on our own, so it's actually quite nice to come together, even if it's only once a year, to meet old faces, make new friends.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I'm picking up, I think, is that you enjoy or you value the feeling of being part of a team.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Spirit included, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Main player.
Do you have any particular thoughts on that teamwork, where Spirit is so integrated into what we're doing?
Well, it's the other way around, isn't it? They call us.
Yeah.
We have no control in anything that we do.
We've all got intuition, and I think that's the basis of where it all comes. And strengthening the intuition, then we do turn left instead of right, and trusting that, and that is Spirit working through us. Whether we've got direct contact to our spirit guides, which I do-ish, but I wouldn't call myself a medium, but I follow my intuition. I know what's going on. I invited Greg here because I knew he had to come, and he immediately said, yes, I'm coming. So it's that sort of thing. But yes, it's the spirit world working through us all the time, because we are spirit. We're all we are spirit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trees, the plants,
Yeah, we're all
the rocks,
connected.
stones, the clouds, everything is connected. You know, it's very much with a lot of the tribal cultures, the North American Indians, that you just say all the time, we are connected, we are one. And we are. Again, Kirsty and I have worked together. We're going to be working together in the future. There's people that we've met today that I'll be working and we'll all be learning from each other, because part of it is sharing that gift, that wisdom and that knowledge to other people, rather than us just being in our little bubble.
Yes, that's it. Terry's approach in particular gives it a different identity. Do you find this, or from what
I
was
do.
described there?
Yeah, but I also find it interesting that working with guides, spirit guides, they have got their own distinct personalities. And I was talking to Terry today, and he was telling us about some of the tools the guys use when they're working on people in the etheric body. I said, yeah, I have exactly the same experiences with my guide. It's exactly what he does as well. And we find it really interesting, don't we, that
They've got a toolbox.
they've got a toolbox, yeah.
And it's highly amusing
Yeah,
sometimes
it
as
is,
well.
yeah.
We can be doing a session and we end up in fits of giggles because of the spirit guides working away,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
very amusing.
It is.
They like
yeah.
they like a sense of humour.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Well, the other thing is, Kirsty and I have worked together, but I didn't know about Terry's protocol, so we've done it intuitively, or whether Kirsty had found out. But it's actually good to see that other people are all talking from the same songbook. And again, it's made me think about, with my healing work, I need to start recording my results to get the proof, because we need more people to understand the spiritual context to help mainstream medicine.
So the research aspect of it is also a powerful part.
I think research and training, as he said,
Collecting data.
Yeah.
Collecting data that's, can be used as statistics to prove whatever we can prove to people with cloth ears right now, that spirit release, especially remote, where it's so much easier than doing it one-to-one, because I really think that when the clients are involved, there's all sorts of other energies involved. This is just me talking. Direct contact with the client and doing an interview and going through maybe in a hypnotic state and getting them to interact with some attachment that they have can be highly distressing. And I don't believe that a client needs to go through a trauma again to clear it necessarily. So doing remote work, this is how it's so fantastic and so fast that there's no interference at all, even though we engage with the higher self of the client. It can be really fast and it's so effective.
Yeah, it gets straight to the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just like sticking a plaster on a gaping wound. We're clearing up the wound, really.
Yeah.
And also for the client, they're going to have fear about things they don't understand in another realm. Also, they're going to be nervous about their experiences. Do I, is this happening? When you start talking a different vocabulary as well.
Oh yeah, good point.
Okay. So I'm getting an impression from that that you noticed the effectiveness, the efficiency. I think is what you're talking about, Kirsty. Yeah.
It's both efficient and effective.
Yeah.
Very, There's some
Dave,
great
do
results.
you have a view on that?
I think, for me, taking away from that, it's a very effective and a very good way of dealing with a lot of what you effectively gain, all the dirt and dust and everything that you pick up along the way. I'm now thinking if it's something that I could look on to improving my spiritual healing, because I'm a hands-on spiritual healer. So I'm now going to kind of see whether there's anything I could do with my guides that might, because I kind of deal with the aura side, I can sort of clean auras and chakras and that kind. I'm wondering whether there's now anything that I can do, not so much follow the exact protocol, but more kind of take bits from it that maybe I can improve my
Build upon.
build upon.
That's the main thing anyway, is taking the bits that work for
Yeah.
you.
I mean, spirit does what it does. My guides heal through me, and they do it their way. But if there's anything that can make it more efficient and clean up a little bit more.
Well, you've already got experience of that because you pass over an awful lot of earthbounds off the land and en masse.
Yeah.
You do it
Yeah, I
en masse,
tend
and
to,
they come to you for that very reason, and you do it en masse. So this is just building on what you already do.
Yeah, it is actually, because they tend to collection. They kind of collect it all together, and I'm like, okay, I have to do this now. All right, so I'm like, then just job lot, off you go,
So
in a roundabout way.
in a kind of way, it's an invitation to explore what else you can do working with sport.
I'm always
Yeah.
developing,
In a way,
learning. They're
so-
always giving me new stuff to do.
Until we pass over into the other
Yeah.
realm, we're always going to have new experiences.
Yeah.
We're never an expert. We'll never reach the pinnacle.
No.
Exactly. I've already been told by Spirit I can do everything. It's what I want. It's more a case of allowing it to come through. I've already done it in past lives before. Everything I need to do, it's what I want to take on and allow to come through and help. Really, it's a great
Also,
service to be able to do
We seem
this.
to work with a lot of other dead healers, so they're actually carrying on, and we're just here in our physical form.
that's right, you've
That
got
we can
Yeah.
pass through, and some of them are our guides, but some of my friends that have passed have helped me all the time.
Yeah, I've got a past a healer, a psychic surgeon. I've recently come acquainted with, so he's now coming into my team. So I'm now. That's another thing I've got allowed to develop. Although he does do sort of remote stuff, but I think he's more inclined. He wants me to channel him to effectively work. So that's something on my next.
And that's what this work is.
Yeah, channeling, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll get random gifts of feathers, and I know it's from a certain person because it was on
Yeah.
a certain day. And they'll say, well, we're actually going to send you to Papua New Guinea, we're going to send you here, we'll make that happen for you. And invariably, it does.
Yeah,
It might not be here and now, but it could be several years. They're actually working behind the scenes to help us achieve what we need to achieve in the spirit world.
Thank you. Well then,
That it's very clear that remote spirit release isn't therapy. We always ask for advice from the spirit guides and the spirit realm for ongoing needs of the client or the patient, because it's if the patient is still vulnerable, which we try and clean up obviously at the time. But if they've got ongoing psychological needs from this life, like right now in themselves, then they need to carry on and deal with that too. So it can't just be completely left that it's a cure, it's therapy, because it's not often.
so it's efficient and effective as far as it goes, and yet there may be more that's needed at the end of it.
Yeah, because you can't do any therapy without having a clear soul to work with, because there can be negative interferences, so you're not actually dealing with the pure soul of the patient, the client. So that's really important to clear all that out of the way, so you've just got the soul client there, and then it's much easier for them to deal with their own stuff because they haven't got anything else talking at them, keeping them at a low vibration. For example, like earthbounds can often keep people on a low vibration no matter how they want to get out of and be happy. They keep getting dragged down. So with them gone, then they're on their own and they can deal with their own stuff, and it's much, much easier.
Okay. As you're talking there, I'm always thinking of the simile of a paramedic who may need to get someone to hospital, or maybe not.
Yeah.
So that's
It's a good analogy.
initial sort of work that's done
Yeah.
that may lead on to further work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kirsty. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Tess.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.